like I said, on Sunday at 4:30. Okay, so when we did the live the other day, and then I asked everybody if you had got your notifications for when I do a live, and Wally and Chris, you guys said no. And so the reason for that was, if you want to get notifications from my lives or anybody's lives that you're watching, you have to go to your YouTube channel, and you want to be at this page. This was inside settings, and here's your subscriptions button. You need to toggle that over. If it's gray, it needs to be blue. Again, and that was on, that's in settings. Let's see if I can take it back to the back one. See, here's my YouTube channel. I don't know if you guys have a YouTube channel. If not, you got to go to my page, and then underneath where it says subscribe, I think it'll say, when you hit the subscribe button, it'll also say like notify me. So I did like a surprise live yesterday. It was like surprise live, just because I wanted to check that. So that's what the deal is with that. Either go to your channel and turn all your notifications on for everybody that you follow, or just go to my page and turn your notifications on for following me, and then you'll get like a ding when I do go live. And hopefully then I'll get some more people in here. We're not doing a raffle today. And actually unlisted the live I did yesterday. Like 5 people watched it. A couple of my members were in there, and it was like, I was just feeling pretty low yesterday, and we were really struggling to get through these Valentine's Day cards, and I guess I took it down just because it was kind of like blah blah blah. I felt, I don't know, sometimes I'm at war right now. Either I'm paranoid or I'm really at war. I don't know. Sometimes I tend to like take things not as seriously as they should be, and then other times I'm not taking them seriously enough. So I kind of like flip in between that. I might put it back up, but then just cut out some silly parts, right? Because there's always some silly parts. But, and like, I didn't notice it yesterday, but we went sledding, alright, and, sledding was a lot of fun. But Wolfgang, I think, was very hungry, so when we did the live, I think he was, like, super, like, had the hangries, you know what I mean? Because then, like, when we finished the live, and there was kind of, like, a meltdown, and he was like, and I was like, oh, right, because, like, I had, like, put some food out for him when we got home, but he didn't eat it, so I should have paid more attention to that, because that really makes a big difference, so, I mean, in anybody's attitude, right? So today, it was super sunny today, and it's also been really cold, so I got to a new chunk of beach, and I'm about to upload some of that video. Literally, I have like 1 gig of space left on my phone, so this is pretty. Hey, we are going to do more lives, because lives don't take up storage on my phone. They just go right to YouTube, which is great. But we drove up the road, and you've seen me before air a couple videos, well, more than a couple videos. I guess I should think of a name for that place so that everybody knows that that's the place that I'm talking about. But it's like, there's a crack in the mountain where there must be greenstone coming out with crystal quartz in it. And all the quartz that comes out of there is beautiful, beautiful rock. And actually has like quartz with teeth in it. So what we did is we drove to that spot today. I was kind of like chasing sunshine, but yeah, since last year and like the death of my grandma and my partner moving out on me, I kind of like, what? A whole cup of it? Is it all over the floor? Okay, I'm gonna come in here, but he's in the tub, so. Where'd you spill it? All over the floor. Okay. Okay, just try not to film you here because you're in the tub, all right? Yeah, so, I was spending a lot of the time, I don't know, I was like working out when my grandma was still here, but we were also like getting her groceries and going down to see her every day and blah blah blah. And I had a partner, so it was like there's like that extra time that you spend with your partner, right? Now there's not. And I just like probably do some sort of exercise thing. There we go. Every day now, right? So I love it because I like to be in shape. It kind of cuts into everything. So anyways, underneath that slash that I like so much there, or like it's an old channel that's come down and it's brought all this greenstone with it, and it heads down over the road and into the river. So today we climbed down the bank to hit the river because it's cold. It's like -7, and the little tributary that's there, that it sometimes is not like just a little tributary, sometimes it's like a larger size creek bed. But today it was all frozen, so we cut down the bank and there was a beaver dam. So there was a spring coming out of the mountain with a bunch of those green reed things, which are cool. And there was a beaver dam. So we were able to get right across to a piece of beach that I've never seen before. It's on the main, but it definitely had some interesting, like, look, this is a piece of dalasite, the Chinese writing stone, but it's also got, look at this blue, right? Like, this is a basalt ball, but it's got writing stone on it. It's got phenocryst, and they're filled with 2 different types, right? Some of them are black, and then this big bop on the top is blue. So, I mean, it could be apatite, azurite. It would be really cool if it was sapphire. Probably not, but all the rocks there were, well, they were frozen, and I forgot my big heavy-duty hammer. And I know that Brian the rock guy was saying that I should get a rock hammer. And I haven't gotten back to you yet, and I'm sorry about that. I didn't even know that they made hammers just particularly for rocks, but doesn't that look cool? It's like a mouth. I can go down to the hardware store and look, but again, a tiny little town, so it's hard to, like, I don't know. I could order one. I guess I'm making bank these days, working at the school, so I will try to order a rock hammer is what I will do, but this is pretty neat too, hey? Yeah, so it was a very cool beach. Like, if it wasn't all frozen up, filled with log jams, there would have been a lot more to look at, but definitely, like, look how pretty that is. Isn't that nice? Ooh, I like it. I don't know what this is, but, wow. It's a basalt with some quartz in there. I'm going to put this one on my rock saw, make magnets out of it, and it'll be really cool. There's a guy in my rock group that calls these kind of things as a siliceous breccia, because it's like, I don't know, this part, I guess, is the siliceous part. So he's found some like green and blue and turquoise and gray or dark green stuff that he's like named nigardite, and I guess it's become pretty famous. People want to buy it. I brought that just because it's got these cool lines on it, and it's smooth. Worry stone, solid as a worry stone. This basalt, very cool. So I didn't bring that much out today just because, like, we were cold. I got there too late for the sun. Just like the sun was like just heading down the mountain, which kind of, I was like, darn it. But I don't know. It's gonna take me a bit now that I've got like a rock channel to like figure out. Chasing sun. There was this lady the other day at the daycare, and she was like, I'm just gonna make a sun calendar where all the sun is all the time. I was like, that is an excellent idea. That is an excellent, excellent idea. So we're not gonna do a raffle today. I just wanted to show you guys those rocks and check on in and say hi. Whatever, we want to see what everybody is doing. Oh, I had a couple here, I guess, that we could put in the water. See, these guys, they don't look like much until they get wet, but once this gets wet, this is a beautiful piece of rock. Same with these ones, but I'm going to resin them, and then they will look something like this. Isn't this cool? But what I really wanted to do today was, although I'm not an expert or whatever, so we're on the west coast in BC, and there's probably like 1,500 people in this town. We have a lot of animal activity. There's a lot of animals, and I guess in my video you guys see me, in most of my videos you guys see me being like, hey bear, yo bear, whatever bear. I'm afraid of bears, and I do a lot of yelling around about bears. And bears are like quite the controversial issue, right? So we live pretty closely with the with the New Hawk, the indigenous band down here, and you know they have great respect for their animals. So it's kind of like I don't say very much in my videos because most of those people are my friends, and everybody's got a different point of view about bears, and definitely my point of view is just a point of view about bears. Like, I just don't want to get eaten by a bear, so I do a lot of yelling around and try to carry weapons, and it's kind of like a joke, because like, haha, what am I going to do, hammer a bear in the face? But like, yeah, I am going to hammer a bear in the face. But when I go out with some like New Hawk people, like they're very chill, and they're like not worried about getting eaten by bears. Like when it's mushroom picking time around here, there's like vehicles all up and down the road, and like the New Hawk are in the woods, mushrooms, probably not carrying bear spray, probably just being at one with the bears. Well, I am not at one with the bears, so I tend to have like a way different view on that, but at the same time, all the more power to people that are chill with bears. I mean, it'd be cool to be like, whatever, like, bear walker, right? So, that's why you see me when I'm in my videos and I'm like, hey bear, yo bear. Like, I do not want to see a bear. So, the times that I have seen a bear, like, a few years ago, many years ago now, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I used to be fairly, like, crazy, like I was saying. I like to work out, and kind of like what happened to me is I was living with somebody and then they left, and then like one day I was sad, and then I was just like, why am I sad when I can go like run around nature like the person I was meant to be, right? And I like literally got up out of the living room and I put my shoes on and I started running down the road. And like running became my thing. I like ran everywhere 3 times a day. I ran to work, I ran at lunch break, I ran home. So, and I've always like lived here in this space. Not like in this house, but in this space. So just up the road from me, there's like 2 Forest Service roads. You guys see me up there lots in all my videos. It's like a canyon bridge. The bridge goes over a big canyon. Each side is an old logging road that goes like, I don't know, up in New Satin Valley where they logged way back in the day. So one side has a hiking trail. I haven't taken you guys yet, but we will go one day, and I'll film the whole like Medby Rock hike. I guess I just haven't done it because I honestly haven't been up there since I was coming down there one time, and I tripped over a log and I landed on my hip, and like pretty sure I like fractured my hip because ever since then it had a click, and it has a click, and it legit took like 8 months to heal, and it was one of the most like not like painful like hey like a broken bone, but like it like throbbed. I couldn't walk on it. I had to drag myself out of the bush that day. Like, I don't know. It was kind of a disaster. So I haven't been up there since, but it's one of those things that we will do. We'll go up there. It's a great view up there. And there used to be like an old, like a lighthouse thing for when people were flying into the valley so they didn't like fly into the mountain. There was like a guy that lived up there that kept a light going or something. Or there used to be like old metal cable that ran from the top all the way to the bottom because he would like cable his like supplies up the mountain and stuff. So one day, many years ago, I was like, it's not? Okay, well, I'm plugged in now, honey, so I'm just gonna read a little bit here and then I'll come and get you out, okay? I'm sorry, but I don't want to walk away and unplug. I'm charging the phone for your phone call. Okay? We'll have to do cold water next time. Next time! So, I'm heading up this road, and it's like, I gotta go to work, and I would like go up there and I would run before I went to work, right? And so I come around the corner, and there's a black bear. And he like looks at me, and I like look at him, and I like didn't have any like weapons or whatever. And this was like 15, 20 years ago, right? And so, in my opinion, bears used to be like a lot more afraid when they saw a person. Sure. Just try not to make a mess, okay? So, I just went for it. I was like, you know what? I really want to hike up this hill. So I just like was like, "Rah!" And I just went running at him with my arms like this or whatever. And he was so scared that he stopped chewing his grass and he like took off, right? But this is like a black bear, right? And like, I tend to feel like black bears are more like stocky kind of animals. Like if they, like if, and I say this because if I have one in the yard and he's after my like garbage or he's after like my like garden, I can go outside and chase that thing away like 5, 10, 15, 20 times. Okay, but he does not leave. He just like lurks around the yard, right? Like say you go outside and you chase him out of the garden, he'll just like run up the hill, watch for you to go inside and come back down, right? So whereas in like a grizzly bear, like in my experience, harder to scare off, like yeah, like bear banger, like you gotta really scare a grizzly bear to make him want to leave, especially if you have like a big ass apple tree that he can get into or something. But once you've scared him off, you've scared him off because he's not sticking around to like, you've scared him, right? He's gone. Black bear, you know, black bear is a little bit more like, no, I'm not going. Like when Max was here, literally one time, he like, the black bear came back around and we were throwing rocks at him to get him to go away because he was coming back towards the house, and he literally, the black bear put his face down and got like a rock like right in the face because I think I don't know, it was like he thought we were throwing like sandwiches or something, you know. It was ridiculous, but Grizzly bear, you know, if you hurt him or scare him, he's gone. So, and I've had like a lot of grizzly bear encounters. Like my grandma used to have, when she was alive, had this old apple tree. And I don't know, my grandma's just from the age, right? Like now they tell you that you can go to, they have this like conservation program where we are, right? And you can go and you can ask for a electric fence, right? And you can get an electric fence borrowed to you with the like you get the fencing piece and you get the motor piece, and I don't know if they give you the rebar too, because the way it works is like you gotta have a piece of rebar in the ground so that you ground out your electricity, right? And then you tie your unit to the rebar, and then the unit piece will plug in. So that was the other thing of it for my grandma. It's like she didn't want to deal with this anyways, because she's from the age of like when my grandpa was alive and my uncle was alive, and you just like shoot at the bear, hey, how's it going today? So she didn't really understand, and she was like worried about the power, and then she had to have one of her windows opened all the time, and like she's like 80, right? But the thing is she lives right across from the school. So there was some big grizzly bears in my grandma's tree. And not just like one grizzly bear, like a mom and her like 3 babies. Her like twins from 2 years ago, and then her baby from now, and then they were like bedding in the like field behind my grandma's house, and like so for a while, you know, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, when I first got the truck, she would like call me because we're worried about a bear just coming into her house, really, because, you know, she's cooking stuff or she's got the window open and her door's old. You could just like, really, if a bear wants to get in, you can get in, right? So I would drive down there. Also, because the kids going to school, walking to school. Thanks. It has been pretty good. We went rock hunting, and it's Monday tomorrow, so we gotta get back to school. So I'm just like talking about some bear stuff, and just like I've had this book here, and this is where I was going with all this bear stuff. So this was written by a local guy, and it's called Bear Encounter Survival Guide. But I just want to say, opinions in this book are probably not, yeah, very much so, very much so. Opinions in this book are probably not going to be well received by everybody. So I was just like relating a little bit of mine, like experience. Like I've tried to chase bears off my grandma's property with the truck, and literally they do not go anywhere, right? They're just like drive the truck over. My grandma had this like driveway. It's like, well, the driveway's fine, but beside her house, you know, back in the day when the Norwegians cleared land, they just like knocked the trees over and then put the grass on top of the trees. But as the trees rot, it makes hills, right? So my grandma's got this like crazy yard that's like just hills. So like even getting a vehicle in there is hard, but like I got in there and I'm like honking the horn, right? Because it's super dangerous. It's dangerous for my grandma to be in her little house, and it's dangerous for all the children that are walking to school, right? And like I said, this is like pre-electric fence, before they started putting out the proposal so bad and really following the Wildlife Act. Like if you guys have ever read the Wildlife Act, it is like probably more strong and more threatening and more government got your finger on you than anything. Like you can get in big trouble for even some of these stories that I'm telling you. I'm probably not even allowed to like scare bears off with the truck, right? Stuff like that. Like it's, yeah, this was written, his name is by James Gary Shelton, and he's not around anymore. But when I was younger and I went to school, I think he wrote this book in 1994. So he used to come to our school to teach us about bear awareness. Because like as he says in this book, yeah, as he says in this book, a lot of well, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read the like preface to you guys so you get the gist of it. But this is a pretty good book based off like his real life experience living in a rural community. I mean, the thing is like living in a rural community where you live with wild animals is a lot different. It's funny because could not save us from anything. Anything. All he can do is spend our money and put our country in debt real bad. Like, like, I can't even get started. Can't even get started. Like, everybody was really happy when he got in because he legalized marijuana, right? But like, oh my god, it would just be better if like marijuana was still illegal, you know, like because it just like opened this doorway. Like, did you know now in BC you can have like 2.5 grams of like cocaine on you, 2.5 grams of heroin, meth, like any type of opioids, right? As long as you're not doing them in like a public place. Like, how many drug addicts do you think are actually listening to that and like not doing drugs in a public place, right? Like, there's so many things on TikTok or on YouTube. They're like in kids' parks, right? You can't even go to the park anymore, right? And like, what is it with drug addicts and like kids' parks, right? Like, the last place I mean, I don't get high off anything, but the last place you would think that you would want to get high is like a little kid's like rape, like slide, or like, oh my god, Trudeau, and like safe injection sites, and like, oh my god, I can't even get started. But like, it's just, like, whatever. Some people, yeah, we are sad for people that, of course, you're still a human being. It's pretty sad, like, or maybe that's your life choice, you need to have it for some reason, whatever. But the fallout, it's like, it's so dangerous now, like, for us here, even in this tiny little town, the thievery is intense. Like, 6 months ago, these old people just downtown in their house, and these two kids broke in and beat the shit, right? To steal, like, what? To steal $50, you know? And that's cool, right? Here in BC, we cannot, right? Like, I have some stories I do want to tell you guys, but I can't because it's like, I think even for like not having an electric fence now around your garden, it's like a $600 fine. And if you like don't comply, it can get to like jail time and having your license removed. And like, even my garbage cans outside, if I don't have my garbage cans like properly secured, which is a joke because I've worked at the grocery store and they throw the meat into those like big bins, those big like steel bins, and they're like closed. They've even had to chain them up, and the grizzly bears just drag them away. And like, we're talking like big ass like steel bins chained up, and a bunch of bears just drug them away, and then like rolled them down the hill until they like busted open because there was a slough right beside there. Like, it's like, bears are strong. You cannot like underestimate a bear. Like, if a bear wanted to come through my glass door, yeah, right? And then maybe we'll get our guns back. Like, that's another thing Trudeau did, is he took like so many guns off. And like, I'm not on here proponenting for anything, but just explaining as we are in Canada. Like, why would you ban like a gun that like literally has its name is like duck rifle, right? Like, like, oh no, that's a dangerous weapon. It's like, I don't know, right? Somethington's duck rifle. Like, and yet you can get a handgun anywhere. You can get any type of gun. Like the black market is, you can get guns all over the place. I don't have any guns. I'm not saying, but you hear what you hear, right? So anyways, I know it is like, it's so much to rant about, but the Wildlife Act is stiff. Like, it's even, those parks rangers in Canada have more authority than the police for sure. Like, if I was transporting like fish or something that I wasn't supposed to, they could like impound my vehicle, take my license, and give me like federal jail time. So, on that note, I don't even know if I'll have a garden this year because an electric fence, like, they have an electric fence around our garbage dump now. My whole life, you could go down the garbage dump and see bears. Lots of bears. But like last year, like the bears, there's so many bears because also now there's no hunting of bears. And whatever, I'm not going to get into the controversies of that issue, right? Because like obviously there were some people that were following this law, and then there's people that are not following these laws, right? But end result, we got bears. Many bears. And like, so we go down the garbage dump. It's got electric fence around it. And what are the bears doing? They're digging up the ground in front of the electric fence and throwing it on the electric fence. Because then they're shorting the fence out, right? And if they can like create a big enough short, if they can like bury the end of the electric fence, they can just crawl underneath with just getting a small zap, right? Right? I drove down there last year and I was just like, what the fuck? And they did it at my grandma's house too. Like, we did eventually get the guy to come over and set up the fence for my grandma. She cried. She did not want to have anything to do about it. She cried and she cursed and she was mad and sad, but hi. She was in a wheelchair at that time, and it was just like the BC Parks people came over and they were going to fine her $600. And then they were going to fine her $1,400. And then they were going to, and she's like an old lady in a wheelchair. So I got a hold of the guy or whatever, and I was like, look, like, yeah, they will eat you. Got the fence put up, whatever. But the bears are so used to coming to my grandma's and eating off that tree, they just dug underneath. They just dug a big tunnel underneath, right? It didn't really, like, fix anything, because my grandma can't be outside. Like, she's in a wheelchair. I couldn't be there every day, you know? So it was kind of like, we ended up cutting that. Well, my mom came and cut some of the tree down, but it's from 1910. It was planted by my great-great-grandpa. Like, isn't that sad? They probably don't even have those types of apples anymore, but can't preserve it because unless somebody lives there and someone's, like, or, you know, watching that tree specifically, it's just a headache. So anyways, Mr. Gary Shelton. So he also built houses in town here. And he was a really funny guy. Like, I can't speak on. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, like a month after my relationship ended last year, Grandma, she had a heart attack. So she's gone now, and it's like it was my first Christmas without her and everything, and it's been hard. It's been hard. That's why if you watch some of my videos, this is my year where I've experienced a lot of loss in my life. I mean, my dad's gone, and that's what everybody says. You know. And both my grandpas are gone, and yeah, things have just been, I broke my back, right? Like, the struggle is real. But this year was hard. It was hard to lose two people I really care about all at one time, and then be responsible for that young one. But having him has really made a big difference. Well, it's quite the convoluted situation that I probably shouldn't talk about online. But if you ask him, he left me. So, and yeah, that's fine. That's the way it is, I guess. I'm a narcissist. Hi. But I'm on YouTube. Well, yeah, thanks. You can though if you want the full story. But anyways, it is what it is, I guess, right? It is what it is. It was just weird. It was just hard to like lose two people that were important. But anyways, so Gary Sheldon, he also used to build houses in town, and for a little while there, while I worked at the grocery store, I had like a side job like doing landscaping and stuff like that. So there's this one house where I was doing landscaping where Gary was building the house, and so I got to see a little bit of like his ingenuity, because some of the most well-built houses in town built by this guy. And he used to come to the school and teach us about bear awareness. Now, this man do the best bear impression I've ever heard in my life. He'd just like stand up in front of the class and be like, "Whoo, whoo," right? like, if you ever hear that sound coming from a bear, you need to run. Right? So, I don't know where you guys would get this book, but it is definitely not like a book that somebody just like researched a bunch of other books and put it together. He lived in town, he lived in the wild. You can, in the front of it, so that's the preface from the editor. And I do got to get Wolf out of the tub here, you guys, but the next few lives, if you guys liked what we were talking about in this live, if you're interested in me reading some of the stories out of here, I would like to read some of the stories out of here. And it's going to be grizzly bears and black bears. I think it'll be interesting, and it'll give me something to, thanks, I think it'll be good. Give me something to chat about. Yeah, I was thinking about reading to you for the next few lives. Like, I thought about going through it and just like making some points out of it, but then I thought that doesn't quite like it's not going to quite give, like, I'm not Gary Sheldon, right? I mean, I'm telling you guys, I met the guy. He used to come to my school, and I met him on a few building sites, and he liked me, and we're pretty cool. But he's gone now, and so, like, I don't want to, like, not give him any due, right? I don't want to, like, not give him any due credit. So I'm going to read you guys the preface, and then I'm probably going to go and get Wolfgang out of the tub, and I'm going to try to do more lives on the weekend, and we'll pick this up. Maybe there looks like there's a chapter on human bear conflict history. There's some bear biology. There's bear aggressive behavior, predaceous encounters and attacks, bear encounters, encounter survival strategies. Oh, Mr. Dunsworth. So I know some of these people in here too. And I know some of these people in here, so maybe we can make it a bit more fun, because I can give you like some extra little stories about things like Mr. Dunsworth is in here. I went on a helicopter ride with him one time to go look for some goats. So I can tell you a little bit about that, or I'm coming. Yeah, I'm gonna left. He does have a little like Jeep thing that he drives around the yard. Yeah. I just the other day, and it was like, it sits out front here underneath the tarp, right? And I'm not very good at, like, I can do art stuff. I love being outside. I can paint, I can play guitar, I can write. What I can't do is anything mechanical. I'm like, ugh. Right? So the other day I get up in the middle of the night, and the little Jeep, its lights are on, and it's like underneath the tarp outside, and I'm like, It was like, you guys seen Christine, right? Stephen King's Christine. It was totally like that. And I was so like, but it was like 3 in the morning. And I'm like, I knew that like the battery might be draining or whatever. And right? Could be. Could be. I do have CMT like cedar trees on my property. And who knows? But I was freaked right out. I just like made sure the door was locked and just like went into Wolf's room and slept with him and was like, whatever. And in the morning I went out there and yeah, it was on. It wasn't just like some water got in there or something. The button was on and that's why the lights were on. So that was kind of freaky. It was very freaky. Okay? So that's what this book's going to be about. But I really got to go. I love you guys all. Thanks for watching and thanks for commenting in my live. Next live that we do next week, there will be a raffle involved. So please jump on in and comment. But I really got to go. Okay. See ya. Have a good... Don't. Have a good night. Have a good dinner. Have a good sleep. See you guys next week.